Or hello, folks. Welcome. It's the weekend, finally, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. End of the weekend. What a wild week it was. We had CPI report, PPI reports, uh, tariff tantrums all over the place. So all kinds of stuff happening. But we had a phenomenal week. In fact, best week of the year so far. We are sitting at all-time highs in the Lazy Trader account. We're sitting near the year highs in our trading account. Small accounts also at all-time high. So great things going on. I want to share a couple things with you today as we head into the weekend. And I was sharing some of this with our members in the Discord today and really wanted to talk about it a little bit more here with you as you start to think of what some of the keys to really being good in trading and investing. And certainly put out a number of things. You can read the 10 Commandments thing that I put out of trading. I think that's a great one to watch. But also some of the three keys that I really look at right now, at least from a mindset perspective and a disciplines perspective, is number one, you've got to have patience. You got to be patient out there. You can't be jumping in. So a couple examples that came up today, and I want to share these live, and I'll even share my account. We're going to talk about two trades today. So I'm going to give you two trades, but I want to talk about how these things all fit together as you really develop your trading skills and your investing skills, and you learn and become better with it. But when we talk about patience, not wanting to just jump in on any trade. I mean, right now you've got ES moving towards new all-time highs again. Is that the best time to be adding long trades at all-time highs? Well, every all-time high had previously had an all-time high, right? So it doesn't mean that you can't enter, but it certainly doesn't give you as good of odds potentially. You really want to get in on a pullback or something nice, but what if that pullback doesn't come? And you start to get this FOMO going. And I know there's many of you out there that are probably FOMOing all over the place on Palantir. I kind of wish I had gotten into more Palantir early on, but you know what? I got the patience to wait to see if it pulls back. I also have the second piece here, which is discipline. I have the discipline to not take the trade. I have the discipline to wait. So I'm patient, okay, and I'm disciplined to only trade my strategies the way I set them up. I'm only looking for the entries that make sense for me. And does it make sense to jump into gold here? Not at all-time highs, not when gold is zooming higher. Now, today, gold had a pretty good pullback. So does that mean that you should be jumping in right here? I say no. So if we're looking at the chart, we didn't even hit the 13 EMA, much less like the 21 EMA. So it's not really, one down day doesn't make a pullback. And I got people, they're missing out on this gold move to the upside and they want trades. You got to have the patience to just wait it out. Okay? Have the patience. Let the trades come to you. Let the setups come to you. Have the discipline. Okay, so you got patience and discipline. May have the discipline to follow your plan. Okay, to not jump on trades that don't really fit your plan. Have the patience to just wait it out. And I'm really going to talk about my investing account here that we share in the Discord in just a moment. But if we would look at gold, should we jump in? Bonds, great thing here. I was patient all the way down. I was disciplined all the way down to not just pull the trigger, okay, and try to get out. I worked my plan. I had the discipline to stay with my plan the whole way, even though maybe on the bonds way down, things got a little tougher and got a little tight, okay, but we held through it. We followed the plan, okay. The plan was either we were going to stop out at a 2x loss or we could roll out in time. Give us some more ourselves more time to be right. I'm not a big fan of rolling or adjusting. Okay, they are not my favorite things in the world. However, they do make up some of my plan, and I would say in rare instances, I'm talking maybe 5% of the time when a trade gets in trouble, will I ever really consider rolling. So it's not my first go-to. I know other people out there that love to roll, and they love to roll for credit and get the income. Rolling is simply taking a loss on a trade and putting on usually a worse trade in an asset that's already going against you. Okay, it really doesn't make sense. Okay, unless you have the conviction that your trade is still valid, even though it's come down pretty far. So bonds, one of the only times I've rolled. I can't think of another trade that I have rolled besides bonds, either ZB, the futures, or TLT. It's about the only trades I've rolled in probably a year now. I don't roll almost anything on any other assets that I have. I stick to my stop losses because again, a roll is stopping out and then opening a brand new trade at a worse, point in the trend, and that's more dangerous. So it's not an advantageous trade. But it's very rare that I will ever do that. However, if it's part of your plan, you got to stay disciplined to your plan. I'm not going to hold and do something crazy here. I'm not going to go to if my stop loss says 2x, okay, I'm not going, or it's a 3x stop or a 2x max loss. I'm not going to 5, 6x. Okay, that's not the plan unless rolling is an option and it makes sense based upon what I'm seeing. Okay, rarely. Okay. The only time I'm probably not stopping out at my 3x stop, if that's the plan, or 1 and 2.5x stop, or whatever the plan might call for. The only time it's not happening is if it blows past my stop and I'm having to scramble to get out anyway, now at a 3 or 4 or 5x loss or something because I missed it for some reason. And when you trade futures, you can't really put on, at least not in Tasty Trade, you can't put on stops, which I kind of like anyway, and you got to be manual. So sometimes you got to get some slippage. Anyway, patience and discipline. You got to have the patience to wait for the setup. Someone just asked me that's new to our Discord, hey, can I go ahead and put on some of the poor man covered call trades that you have now? Can I still get into those? My point was not really. I got into those on pullbacks or on times that I felt were a better setup. That setup no longer really exists. So you got to have the patience to wait till the setup comes to you. Now, look for other underlyings, but don't force it. You got to have the discipline to stick to your underlyings. So somebody else was bringing out a point today. They're down 90% on a poor man's covered call that they did on their own, not one of mine, okay, that they did on a poor man's covered call. They lost 90% on the long calls. Okay. My plan is I will get out at 30% of a loss on the entire trade. That's not only does the long call drop at least 30%, but if you after you subtract all the income from the covered calls, if those two together are more than a 30% loss, I'm probably getting out. Okay. Number two, that's staying disciplined and sticking to your plan. The other part of that is I looked at the asset that he was putting it on, and it's not one that I would ever trade. Okay. So if you're trading poor man's covered calls on lower quality asset names, I only have them on AMD, which I don't know if you call that a quality asset, but it should be a quality asset. Okay, AMD, Nvidia, Tesla, and IBIT. Okay, those are the main ones for me that I'm trading those on. Okay, IBIT is the Bitcoin ETF because I'm pretty positive on Bitcoin, even though it could go down near term. I really like that asset. That's it. Okay. I'm not putting these on crazy other things that can spike. I'm not doing it on MicroStrategy or Strategy now. I'm not doing it on Qualcomm, even though it's a good quality company. It's not the standard that I want. I'm not doing it on Boeing. I'm not doing it on Disney. I'm not doing it on Paychex. I'm not doing it on any of these other stocks out there, Merck and UNH, and doesn't mean those aren't decent companies. They're not my quality companies. I only have 12 companies that I will ever trade on the stock side. Okay. I hate most stocks. I don't like stocks. My trading account barely has ever had any stocks in it because I hate the fact that news can come out at any point in time and you get crushed, even though your stock did nothing wrong. DeepSeek comes out, Nvidia tanks. Well, turns out the DeepSeek news maybe wasn't quite what you expected, but Nvidia tanked on the news. I hate that. I would rather have my ETFs, my indexes. I want to just keep trading the S&P, the Nasdaq, bonds, and oil, and some gold. Okay, that's pretty much it. And I barely ever trade the Nasdaq, but I do in my longer term investing accounts. Well, really four assets, and they're all futures for me. It's ES, GC for gold, CL for oil, and ZB for bonds. And that's what I'm trading most of the time because I just hate the way stocks react. I hate stocks. Okay. But there are some high quality names out there. Uh, Amazon, Tesla, Nvidia. I don't know if there's a whole lot more that I want to talk about here. And then you can look at a few others. Maybe some people think SoFi or Palantir, which is a little overextended to me. I'm not, and Meta, I think is another good quality one. Microsoft, Google was one of my favorites. Didn't like some of the things I'm hearing from them. But Amazon, Meta, Tesla, Nvidia, those are the quality stocks to me. That's where I'm going to trade. Those things should go up over time. If you're trading poor man covered calls or the wheel or anything else on some of these other more speculative names, you're going to get what you get. Okay. And the market's been going straight up, okay, for basically a year and a half, 2 years now, whatever. It's hard for people to be wrong right now. If you're wrong right now, okay, yeah, you're probably in the wrong assets or something like that. All right. So I wanted to just bring some of those points out. You got to have the patience, got to have the discipline. So let's take a look. And the third one there is consistency. You got to keep running with the trades that got you there. For me, it's going to be Strangles. It's going to be 112 trades. It's going to be naked puts, selling naked puts. Okay? That's it. Those three things. If I can sell those, and all of those are similar. Strangles have naked puts. 112s have naked puts have naked puts, right? So they're all based upon put selling. Strangles, it's the call, but I don't do them on stuff that looks like this. I look on stuff that looks like this, okay, for strangles. So there's not a lot of strangle opportunities all of the time. You got to have the patience to wait for your setup. And you don't just jam it on some asset because it might look okay. If that's not an asset you like, don't trade it on there. So sometimes I go down to one or two strangles. Sometimes I'll have six. Okay. You got to have the patience and the discipline to wait for your setup to arrive. 112 trades, I don't just put them on willy-nilly for the most part. Okay. If I see the setup, I'm trading it unless it's one of my campaign trades. Okay. And then naked puts or leaps, either one of those, only on quality assets, only when I see the setup. And right now I'm struggling to see the setup. So let's take a quick look at the Lazy Trader account and let's get in there. So let me just cover the week really quickly with you. Here's what we did this week. We made $17,232 in the trading account this week. So we booked 17,732. We are now up 23,758 on the month to date. So 23,758 on the month. We are up 6% this month trading wise. One of the best months we've ever had trading overall too. From a net lick or portfolio value, the portfolio has grown $29,000 this year and is up 8%. Okay. And in total, we've booked $31,000 in realized gains. Okay. That's not selling premium and saying that it counts. Okay. No, this is actually closed stuff, not open trades. I only count it when you close it because opening it, you'd have no idea what's going to happen. Okay, so we've booked over 8% in gains this year in the trading account. And as of today, we're just off of the year-to-date highs. All right, in the Lazy Trader account, which is our longer-term investing account that we do in the Discord, okay, this account hit a new all-time high today. So new all-time high here. We don't look for a lot of realized income. It's a lazy trading account. So you can see lots of zeros here. We don't trade. We don't close stuff every day, only when it comes off. Okay. We're patient. This is longer term stuff. We did book 3,700 bucks. We've booked over 7 grand this month, which is almost 2%. Our goal in this account is anywhere from 1.5 to 2%. And we're up for the year, we're up $32,000 in net lick. Okay, which is 9%. This account's actually up better than the trading account. We're up 9% for the year in an investing account. All right, and then in our small account here, I think these numbers are a little off because I think we're adding correctly. So if we get this correct, okay, there we go. All right, so we're up fractionally on the year so far. So we're up about um, right now we're up about $600, about 3% on the year so far. All right, so there's where we are in those accounts. Let's take a quick look at the Lazy Trader account, and this is where I want to spend the next few minutes is going over two trades from today and talking about some patience and discipline here. All right, and let me get off video. All right. So here we go. Let's take a look at this account. And we had a good day, good week, good year going so far on these two major accounts. And let's jump in. So this is the Lazy Trader account. This is what it consists of. Again, mostly indexes, okay, and ETFs and a few stocks. Okay, a few stocks. And that's pretty much it. But here's what we did today. And if we look at uh, the activity in here, we actually added Amazon and TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor. Okay, those were our two that we really added today. And why? So let me go back here and share this with you. Look at the buying power over here. It's at 43%. If you look at my trade plan for the Lazy Trader account, and let's go back and take a quick look at that. Okay. And I'll share a little bit more with you on this. All right. Let's take a look at, again, here's how the year's going so far. We've already covered this. We're up 9%. Yeah. Great. Okay. Here's the breakdown. Here's where that money's coming from. Okay. Mostly coming from leaps, SPY leaps, poor man's covered calls, and some distributions on bill, and then some spec trades. That's what's really generating the cash flow on the year. But let's get into this a little bit more. Here is the strategy builder. So this is what I'm basing everything that I do on. This is my trade plan, essentially. Okay, 50% of the account goes towards my core leaps and my stocks. Okay, which I don't do many stocks, but my core leap plays. And then I can do some other naked puts for about 20% of the account. I will take another 20% to poor man's covered calls. About 10% can go to spec trades. So that's pretty much where all of this cash goes to. However, I'm looking to use about 70% of the account, BP, to put these trades on. Okay, so that's the goal. Keep 70% invested. Problem is, I'm having trouble getting there. Now, trades are coming off for winners, and we closed a SPY credit spread today for a nice winner. So that's all well and fine to close those, and that was a nice $800 win. We rolled our AMD covered calls today, and then we had a bunch of wins yesterday with some leaps and naked puts coming off. But we entered this Taiwan Semiconductor. I'm so low on BP right now because I have the discipline and the patience to wait for the better setups. Okay? And I liked the setup on Taiwan Semiconductor. Okay, it's had a really nice pullback. I had a pretty huge drop on the DeepSeek stuff that happened back in January. Then it's kind of rebounded and then sold off a bit here. So it's a pretty good opportunity, I think, to get in, bouncing off the 21 EMA on the weekly. I like this opportunity. So today we sold a leap on that. Okay. So we sold the January 16th of next year, the 150. And when we sold this, we took in $3,100, and we're only using about $3,000 of buying power on this one when we put it on. In fact, what was the exact buying power when we placed this trade was 31.32 of buying power there. So you can see it here. It says 30.77. Okay, and we took in 31.20. So almost a 100% return in a year. Not too shabby. Okay, we're going to let that thing roll. We'll manage it according to our plan. The other trade that we got on today was we actually added another leap to Amazon. And why? What did I see? Again, being patient here. We already had an Amazon leap on that's only been on for 9 days. It's up 16 bucks, so not a big deal. But I like where Amazon's had a nice pullback off of its highs of 242 down to 228 here. It's right at the trend line. It's close to the 50-day moving average. It's getting, uh, I think, a little bit oversold, can still fall, and it's close to the bottom Bollinger Band on the, at least on the daily chart. Uh, can we pull back a little bit more? I think so. I think we could even pull back to like the 215 range, but I'm okay adding just a couple contracts here of this. So we added more of the Amazon leaps today, but my buying power is pretty low. And I really wanted to, to kind of bring that point out today to you that just because you have the buying power doesn't mean you should use it. Okay. So just because you got the buying power doesn't mean you should use it. If the setups aren't right, have the patience and the discipline to wait for the better setup to go and stay consistent to your strategies. Okay. I'm setting them up the same. Okay. I'm taking them off the same. We took off a couple good trades today. We took off another strangle in bonds today. We added some strangles in bonds today. We're looking at continuing the same strategies. They just keep working for us, but we're patient to wait till we find the right setup. All right. I hope this was helpful to you. If you like this video, go ahead and click the like button down below. I'd like to get up to 300 likes on this video if we can. So please hit the like button down below. Help us out. Get the name out. Get the word out on the internet. If this helps you, great. Share the wealth. Share the wealth. All right. And if you're not a subscriber, I invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you want to see what we're doing in the Discord, you want to see these trades that we're doing, you want to get part of this 8-9% up in about a month and a half so far. You want to learn how to be patient, how to be disciplined, how to get consistent out there without going crazy with all kinds of different stocks and options that you may not have to deal with out there. Do it the easy way. Learn the strategies, okay, and then let us help you implement those as we go. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.